do everything I can to help my team win the fight before dying. Dying is not the worst thing in the world, especially because, as we saw there, it led to a successful team fight. So again, just important to kind of always evaluate the situation. I mean, obviously no one ever wants to die, but if you have to die, it could be worse. Nothing worse than not having any abilities. Anyway, so I see them going on my teammate in mid here, so I want to teleport. Actually buy the wards first, because I want to get those wards, but I really should have just bought the TP scroll, worried about the wards later. Could have sent myself with the courier. Anyway, so they kind of clump up here, which is perfect time to throw in an ult. I thought I would hit both of them, unfortunately I don't. I throw Mummy Walls first here, which is actually a little bit of a mistake, because it breaks Magnus out of his Steam Bath. Which is actually going to lead to him getting killed here, so kind of my bad. Anyway, double damage rune spawns here. I should probably be bottling up as I'm running back in here, but I don't. Anyway, I'm going to run back in with my Mummy Wall and just start beating on them with my double damage rune. So again, in a situation like this, I really have no way of running away from this Arachna, because she could just kite me basically permanently, so I'm going to do the only thing I can, which is just try to stand and fight. And then Vindicator I can run away from, so I do. And you'll notice every time right after his attack hits me, I start using my bottle again, so that it gets me the maximum amount of health restored before the next hit, because his hit's obviously going to break the bottle restoration, so I want to make sure that I get as much health as possible, as opposed to just kind of like spamming, shift Q, shift Q, shift Q, when it's not really going to be very effective, because his attacks are going to break more of it than not anyway. So that fight worked out pretty well. Timely double damage rune, certainly, but again, just knowing to be aggressive, understanding the situation, knowing that running isn't ideal. Once again, they have an Arachna. It's hard to run from an Arachna. If I had a TP scroll, I could maybe TP out, but I didn't, because I TP'd in anyway. So TP scroll would have been a cooldown regardless. So I had to stand fight, and it ended up working out. Picking up my Shaman's Headdress now, which basically concludes the core Pharaoh items. I think the Helm of the Black Legion, maybe being a little more optional sometimes, but well, next I guess I should probably get Burial Idol, which I think I kind of just forgot about this game. Anyway, but yeah, Blood Chalice, Bottle, Shaman's Headdress, Steam Boots. So now I have wards too, which I can go place. They're kind of chasing my teammates here, so I'm going to throw a Tormented Soul, assuming they're going to keep running, but they don't. They just back up, which is fine. So now I can go place my wards. I probably should place this ward on the Hellborn Ancient side rather than our side, but it's not that big of a difference. It's not like I'm a Hellborn where I can use one ward to see the entire situation. So they're both kind of staying here. Yellow wants to go in with me. I ult a little early, kind of aggressive, but I can kind of separate their team, and Pink's not paying that much attention, so I actually get a little extra time. I run into the woods just to kind of avoid some damage to get it further away from me, even though I have a spider on me, which gives vision. Blue fortunately comes in and helps, and then eventually yellow as well, so we're able to pick up their team. Yellow gets a good slow on him. Or I meant orange as well, but yellow gets a good slow on him, so I'm able to run up and once again use my most effective ability for preventing people from running, which is Mummy Walls, why is again emphasis on leveling Mummy Walls is important. So we're going to be able to take this tower because we have all our people up and they have 4 dead. I figure 4 people is easily enough to take the tower, so I'm just going to go place my wards instead. I don't think the difference I'll make would be that significant. I figure we should get the tower anyway. I think we do. They do use a glyph in convenient time, but yeah, we're going to get that tower. So just, good time to place wards in their jungle. This is pretty early aggressive wards at this point. Might be a little earlier than normal, however, we're kind of in a strong position, so it's easy to do this. Brown is playing up too far, so again, ult in, Mummy Walls, keep them there for my team, and we finish them off. But yeah, you can actually see I'm kind of being lazy here. I should have just attacked the creep or one of my walls right away, but I figured it was basically over. I thought it kind of lasted a little longer than it had, so that tower beat me up a little bit more than I should have. Kind of a salty move there, but not a big deal. But yeah, so we're just placing as aggressive of wards as possible, because I'm a ganking hero and I want to keep ganking. Whereas normally I might put more middle-ish wards. Anyway, they're starting a team fight. I want to run and place my Mummy Walls, just waiting until the silence wears off. You'll see that I actually don't trap anyone with Mummy Walls there, but that's not what's important. I place them on the hill, so basically separating their entire team. There's nothing they can really do because the pathing on the hill with the Mummy Walls makes it impossible for them to run up, which divides their team and lets us set up a favorable team fight. So that just goes to show that it's not always about trapping people with Mummy Walls, it's just about positioning and placement with Mummy Walls. It has such a huge impact on a fight. It's such an annoying ability, and just being able to do something like that is great. So yeah, I'm just going to come bottle this rune now. Can I fall back? I understand that this is kind of a little bit of a one-sided game, It was just the first Pharaoh game I played, since someone requested me recording him, so I mean this is kind of how it worked out. Um, Not much I can really do about it being one-sided. It's basically just because we actually do have pretty good teamwork on this team, which is kind of rare in a pub, and so if one pub has it, usually the other doesn't. So I'm going here to stack the Ancients, but then we see pink actually in the jungle, so I figure I can go gank him with blue. However, as soon as we run up, he runs away, which, since they have no creeps with vision of us, means that they probably have a ward. Brown's staying, which might indicate that they don't. However, you can see he actually starts running forward when he still had something to kill the ballista there. Which shows that they probably do have wards. Brown just a little bit slower to react than Pink was, which is why it took him a little bit longer to run away. So I probably should counter ward there, or Glacius should. I'm just going to check, use an illusion, a rocket to check to see if he was in the jungle, but intelligently he was carrying a homecoming stone, so he was able to teleport away. So yeah, we could probably guess that they have wards on that hill or in the middle below the hill, one of those two spots. Anyway, this doesn't really make sense. The Hammer Storm's kind of playing up too far. You'll notice at first I was going to throw my Tormented Soul just to where the hammer was, but then I actually threw it here into the middle lane. This is because since we're ganking Hammer and we're kind of exposed in the middle lane, they're probably going to come try to help, as you saw their 2 heroes did there. So by throwing the rocket there, I'm actually giving vision of their heroes running through the middle lane, since our creep wave wasn't pushed that far. And so we can see where the reinforcements are, possibly pick them off, or just respond accordingly, whatever the situation may be. So that's an instance where we're definitely not using the rocket for damage like we initially wanted to. We realized it's just better to use it for vision. Again, we're going to use rocket for vision here to kind of guard us conquering during the most likely spot they would come from the middle lane. But then blue goes to stand there anyway, so it doesn't really do too much. So the next rocket we're going to throw, or Tormented Soul we're going to throw, should be over to the right, through the other path they can come, but it's likely we should just be able to take this. Even if they do come, we do have a double damage. We're basically all at full health. Yeah, so you see we throw the Tormented Soul over to the right to the other possible path. But it doesn't matter because we finished the Conger off. And now I can can return to my original task of stacking Ancients for orange. Stacking small jungle camps is pretty much always worthwhile because they're pretty easy to kill. Stacking Ancients might not always be, because not every carry is going to be very effective at killing them. However, we have Madman who's going Runed Axe, so he's a pretty good candidate for killing Ancients. So it's pretty good for me to stack. Glacius should probably be, but just, I'm kind of a support hero. Support ganker, whatever. So it doesn't hurt to do things that my teammates aren't. Not that he has to. He's playing fine anyway. You saw the conceded vote coming out there. I definitely think that this is probably a situation they should maybe be conceding in. We have a pretty big advantage. Madman's been pretty farmed. Score is pretty much in our favor, and we have pretty much complete map control. Just a Kongor. So I think all these things I would probably be conceding if I was on the other team. No real shame in that. We just ended up having good teamwork, and that kind of wins games, especially in public games. You'll see I kind of just want to push the tower now, maybe force the end of this game a little bit more. I don't really like carrying on games. Well, I'll be honest, if I play like a farming hard carry, like a Chronos type thing, I really hate when the game ends, when I basically farmed all game and my team wins it for me. I know that's kind of mean. I wanted to use a worse word, but I don't know what I should and shouldn't use of me, but or kind of greedy of me. But it does kind of suck to just farm all game and then not get to do anything. However, in a situation like this, there's no reason for them to keep playing. Well, there is. You never know when you can have a comeback. But I'm just saying that's at least why I kind of want to push it, just to end it if I think we can. So we're going to take this tower as soon as my rocket comes off cooldown, or shortly thereafter. After my obsession with padding my Kryptonite stats, I'm going to throw a rocket here to the most likely route that they're going to come to stop us from taking this tower. We can see that none of them are coming, so we're safe to take this tower. As we glance up there, we see it's because they're all top. I'm just going to let us have this tower, which is probably, again, what they have to do anyway. Yeah, so, again, we just kind of have map control. Probably get my wards back up in the jungle, so they really just don't have anywhere they can farm. No reason to give them an opportunity to get back into this game. As Artosis says in StarCraft 2, when you get ahead, get more ahead. But we actually have a sizable creep wave here, and we should be able to kill this creep wave, fortunately, just outside of their tower range, so we can force into their base, probably, since we have all 5 here, and Orange has the Kongor token. I should have thrown my Tormented Soul initially up into the base, actually, to give vision for a Valk Arrow. I kind of just forgot we had a Valk for a second, so instead I Tormented Souled my or this Turbinate Soul the creep wave, which really wasn't that effective since we have a Madman who can, who has a Rune Axe and kill the creep wave pretty quickly. So anyway, I'm just going to keep Turbinate Souling into their base, looking for one of them to just come a little bit too close for me to grab with an ultimate. I don't want to go too far into their base, you know, because they have base towers. Here we see Arachna just too far to the left, so I can do exactly what I just said I would do, which is go in on him. While my teammate kind of picks off the rest of theirs. Just chase Arachna a little bit there for the kill, and then come over help my team out. Have Tormented Soul up in 1 second, so throw it. Try to hit both of them, finish off the Doctor Repulsor, and now we should be able to take the middle. Unfortunately, Magnus gets sniped by the tower. Just not his lucky day. We did lose the Conqueror token, but certainly worth it for taking their base. Again, kind of one-sided. Not really much I can do about this. It does kind of illustrate good Pharaoh play, I think. Or not, I mean, not good, but at least some interesting Pharaoh play, interesting decision making. So it's still a worthwhile video, I think, even if it is a bit one-sided. Unfortunately, you know, this is just the nature of pubs. I think most of them are pretty one-sided. Hopefully, at some point, I'll get to work on playing something, or getting a little bit to a higher PSR when I have time to play a bit more, and playing maybe some more interesting, dynamic games. So I'm going to make my Staff of Masters here. I probably should. Actually, I'm going to go stack these creeps first. Yeah, get them to 3 stack for orange, which should be good. Then finishing my Staff of Masters. I probably should finish Barrier Idol first, but we're ganking a lot, so the Staff of Masters just kind of seems like a more fun choice, I guess you could say. And they don't have a ton of magic damage. I mean, they have a decent amount with Moon Queen's ult and such, so Barrier Idol would certainly be good. But, you know, having fun ganking and just having more ults seems good for Pharaoh at this point. I can see Vote comes out again. And it looks like it's actually going to pass this time, so that'll be the game. Yep. Anyway, so that's pretty much you know, the Pharaoh play. Ended up getting a lot of kills, which is not necessarily something to do with Pharaoh. I mean, Pharaoh should have a lot of assists, certainly, especially with rocket spam. But not necessarily a lot of kills, but it kind of worked out anyway. Still had a lot of assists as well. Just you know, a lot of ganking by us. They kind of won a little bit in one of the lanes, but other than that, we pretty much had a strong play. And it wasn't that they were that bad. I mean, that Arachna certainly played well in the mid. It's just, you know, things work out. Team worked well together. It just proves that sometimes, or not sometimes, usually teamwork does trump individual talent. So that's kind of how the game went, and that's about all I've got. I hope this Pharaoh video satisfied the viewer